I'm Joe.
And I'm Ben.
And we're the Bourbon Boys. Let's pour a glass. Okay, welcome back to Bourbon Boys. We're glad to see you back again. We're on location today with a good friend of mine, Mr. Mike, on his back porch here. He's nice enough to have us over. We're glad to have him. We'd love to have more guests on here, but the COVID has really kind of put a crimp in that for us. But we hope it's easing up now, and we'll be able to get some more people, because it's the best part about bourbon really is being able to share it with some friends. So we really like having that. Today we have kosher from Buffalo Trace, the kosher wheat recipe, which is not a wheat whiskey, it's just their wheat mash bill. It's the same one used for the Weller and the Pappies and their other wheated products. So they have basically 4 wheat bills. This one, or 4 grain bills, but this is the wheat one. This also comes in a rye recipe and the straight rye that Buffalo Trace has. So kosher is a religious term. Are you familiar? So it has to do with Jewish things. I kind of know a little bit about it because I grew up in a community with a lot of Jewish people. But it just has to do with how it's made and some blessings, and it's essentially clean from a spiritual sense thing. So lots of not any food, but a lot of food can be kosher. Pork can never be kosher. But this is done. They clean the whole assembly line and make sure and wash it down. And I believe the rabbis from Chicago have to come and bless certain ingredients and certain processes and stuff like that. Not sure what it's going to be like, but I believe it's aged 7 years, which is longer than the Weller products, I believe. It's longer than any of their wheat ones outside of the Pappies, the 12, and the Weller 12, obviously. But this is one of the longer recipes. I've never had this before.
No, I was eager to try it, so.
He did mention that, so that's probably much why I brought it.
Is that why you brought it?
I've waited through an entire global pandemic for this bottle to come to my house.
Yeah, it's a yearly release. They don't, obviously it's kind of hard to make this on a continuing run since it has a lot of stuff to it.
I think this is the 3rd release.
Is it the 3rd one?
Yeah.
See, he knows stuff about bourbon. That's why we have him on.
I think it's the 3rd year.
Fantastic. So this is, I believe, $40 retail value, which is what we got it for here. So we'll see if it's worth $40. Isn't a whole lot for a 7-year-old Buffalo Trace bourbon.
Very reasonable.
Yeah.
I know you've had some other Buffalo Trace products.
Right.
Do you have any in particular you care for?
Oh, I like E.H. Taylor. I have the Weller 107, which I like.
Oh, yeah.
So I just got a bottle of Blanton's, which I've not opened yet. That's the first bottle I've ever gotten.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, this one here is a 94 proof, so it falls between the Weller Reserve and the Weller Antique in proof. So. We are outside today, and it's kind of cold and rainy. Yesterday it was 80 degrees in the 80s,
It's Ohio.
upper 80s,
Welcome to Cincinnati.
Yeah.
and we're freezing our butts off today. It's got a nice,
Nice fruit. Little floral fruit.
yeah. It's got a lot of the. It's not as pronounced, I don't think, as the Antique is, but it has that same sense as the Weller Antique. The dark fruits, the floral sense.
That's pretty good.
Well, that's nice. On first, it's almost a little candied. It's
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
like a candied fruit or something on it.
I tend to be a chilled with an ice cube kind of guy, but that's pretty good straight.
Mm-hmm.
It's not bad.
No.
That is nice.
A little touch of spice, maybe.
Yeah,
on
a
the
little bit
finish.
on the finish. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it does has a little more
Just a little
spice than like the Antique or the Reserve. We had an ice cube here too. Let's see what we can get. That might come from the extra time in the oak.
Yeah.
think they don't really disclose the Weller other than the 12 the exact age, but I think most of them are 5-6 years, I think. Oh, that made it more. I get a better nose on it now with the ice. Oh, that's odd. I don't know if I've ever had that happen before.
I think it definitely opens up the flavor a little bit.
Yeah. All right. I'll tell you what, like we always do, we'll finish this off, and then we'll come back with our final thoughts. Well, welcome back. We had no trouble at all finishing these off. As a matter of fact, some of us went in for more.
I underpoured on the initial
There you
pour,
go.
so I felt obligated
That's
to
true.
catch
He
up.
did get
I
cheated.
told him to take all he wanted, and he started to leave with the bottle, but we said we got to finish the shoot, so. Our thoughts on, we really enjoyed it. It really, and we talked about this, doesn't, even though it's the same mash bill, I think that extra time in the oak maybe changes the flavor of it. It certainly has a little more spice.
I think so.
Mike was pointing out, I don't think this tastes like the Weller products.
No.
You wouldn't mistake it probably for those. But it was quite pleasant. I mean, we talked about it again, like I said, with the ice seemed to, maybe just a little bit of water or a little bit of ice. We opened it up, but we used kind of larger cubes there, and as it melted, it really took away from it. I thought it took away from the sweetness that I really like, and a little bit of the spice on the finish.
I agree.
It just took away from it. It didn't make it taste worse. It just didn't. It dulled all the
Right.
flavors, which sometimes happens with the lower proofs, the 94 proof like that. But for 94 proof straight, it really delivers quite a bit of flavor. I think. A
Yeah.
lot. So we'll let Mike go. What do you, since you're our guest here, what are you thinking on this one, man?
Well, again, I'm an ice and bourbon guy, and this, I thought straight neat was better. I think it had a nice that dark fruit or taste with a nice finish, nice spicy heat,
Yeah.
but not bad. I mean, just really pleasant. The ice cube initially I thought gave it a little bit more, but then I agree with Joe, and the more it set nice, it just became bland, more bland.
Yeah.
I think it's for $40, it's a very good bourbon, and I would rate it as above average. I'm not. You want me to give a number?
Sure, let's give a number, man.
I'd say close to a 4, maybe 3.75 to a 4.
Good.
Yeah.
I like
and,
that.
and for $40, that's a pretty reasonable cost for a good bottle, a good tasting bourbon.
I agree. That sounds pretty good.
Ben, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with these guys. I thought it was pretty tasty. That ice did kind of take away some of the flavors that we enjoyed initially. But yeah, $40, good tasting bourbon. Can't really beat it. I'd say a 4 on the flavor. I think that's pretty spot on. And a 3 on the value. I don't know. How about you, Joe?
I'm gonna give it. To me, it's not as good as the Weller Antique. To me, that's one of my favorite ones to drink, and it doesn't deliver as much flavor as that. But it's different, and I really like it. I'm gonna give it a solid 4 for me on the flavor, and I think for $40 for what it delivers, I give it a 4 on value myself. So
Okay.
that's me. I would be happy to spend $40 for this one, and I think they could probably, given the taste profile and everything on it, and the name recognition, they could probably charge more than that. But it's
Oh,
a
yeah.
limited one, and people would pay it. So I think at $40, it's a pretty good value.
Plus all the extra stuff they have to do to
Right.
make it kosher.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
The extra process involved, and the extra time in the barrel. I think $40 is a very reasonable price, and I think it's worth the $40. I give it a solid 4 probably on that.
If I saw it in a store, I'd pay $40 tomorrow for it.
Yeah.
Not-
Yeah.
with
No
no
problem.
hesitation.
Yeah, yeah.
No problem.
So as always, we glad you tuned in. If you have any comments, please let us know. If you want to critique Mr. Mathis, that'd be great.
Be kind, I'm old.
And if you have any suggestions or something you'd like us to try, please let us know. We'd love to hear from you, man. Until next time.
See ya.
See ya.
Yeah.
All right, so we want to thank Mike for being on the show with us and letting us use his house. So, and we wanted to look good. We wanted to look good. So we got him a nice Bourbon Boys
Official.
T-shirt. I don't know if it's the right size, but I hope it is. We got some other ones if he needs to switch it out. But anyway, if you're interested in these, let us know. We'll be happy to sell you something.
Yeah,
But, or be on the show and you get one. How's
Yeah,
that?
there you go.
Thank you.
So
I
there
appreciate
you go.
that. That's cool.
Almost forgot to give it to him. So there we go.